I'm Christina Crutchfield, and I have been in Memphis for 5 years full time, but my mom is from here, so I got dropped off in Memphis every summer of my life, and then also sometimes on holidays. So I tell people I have a very distinct Memphis childhood without actually growing up in Memphis. I actually want to share a very old to me story, but very true to me story, because it very much influences how I live. When I graduated high school, I lived in Southern Maryland, and of many of the places I lived, I grew up mostly in Atlanta, and then in high school I moved to Southern Maryland. And my parents moved to this crazy place named Memphis, and I had besides my family being here, I had no connections or anything in Memphis. It was just a place where my grandparents were, where I got dropped off, and it wasn't. And I decided that I was going to go to college in Ohio, because that's a logical place to go to college. So I went to school in Ohio, and I was excited. I was very much involved in every single college activity except for going to classes. So there was also that. I changed my major every 15 minutes because there's always something new and exciting to try. I was part of student government, and I realized after 2.5 years in Ohio that I had no idea what I was doing. And the school I was going to was very expensive, and so I was going into major debt to not know what I was doing. And life happened very quickly in the middle of my junior year of college. My parents were like, we don't know how to keep you at that school. We don't know how, scholarships, you did great, but we don't have no way to keep you. We need you to move home. And home for me in my head was still Maryland or Atlanta. It had nothing to do with Memphis. My parents moved me back middle of my junior year of college to Memphis, and I went through the darkest season of depression of my life because I've always been able to have a community around me. I've always been able to pull people together. I'm almost purely extroverted, so I've always been the one to go adopt people, but I didn't know anybody here. Only people I knew were the people who went to my parents' church, and they saw me as their college dropout daughter, and even though it wasn't even my fault, but that was the way that I felt like I was treated. I felt very much a sense of shame wherever I went. A lot of the insecurities I had from childhood of not being the smartest person or having academic struggles all came back when I couldn't finish college. I was here in Memphis. I was living in Bartlett, not even in Memphis. And I remember thinking, why am I not good enough for the things that was supposed to happen? Because in my mind, me going to the college that I wanted to, being involved in all these organizations, being with all these people, meant that God was blessing me and that God was honoring the work and effort that I had put in. So me being stuck in the city I knew nothing about, it felt like a little bit like I was in the wilderness, to use what we're talking about. It felt like I had really nothing to hold on to. Everything was shifting. Fast forward to that summer, after what should have been the end of my spring semester of my junior year of college, and I get an invitation from a friend of my mom's that said, hey, Christina should go work at the summer camp. And that summer camp was Service Over Self, SOS, Memphis. It is an insane program that I cherish dearly because of what it meant to my life, where they get college-age students to go roof houses in Memphis. And people who know me know I am not handy. I had no business trying to use any hardware to fix anything for anyone, but that's where I found myself. Didn't even know it was a home repair ministry when I joined. In that place, I had a friend who was talking about his life and his struggles, and he said the words that are so fundamental to my life in that place. And he says, no matter what's going on, I am a redeemed child of the Most High God. And that, just because of my background and everything, I had thought of myself as, oh, I'm great because I'm Christina and I work really hard and I'm in all the clubs and I know all the people, but it's God who redeems. And when I had that, I was like, God, I don't really know what this time of my life is. I don't really know why I'm here in Memphis or why I'm not in the college where I want to be and all of those things. I was like, God, right now in this place, if you, God, can come in and fix it. That was my entire prayer. I know it wasn't very profound. It was just like, I can't do it, fix it. And the way that, like, I stayed in that season for a few more months, but then the way that God started opening doors left and right. I'm wearing my Johnson shirt because the first college I went to was a small Christian school in Ohio. Johnson is a small Christian school in East Tennessee, and 100% of my credits transferred. So I transferred in as a junior, which is like never happens. And so I was never actually behind in school, which was always something that I was afraid of. Working at SOS, I got to hear from these random people at Binghamton Development Corporation, and that's where I first heard about what community development was and how that works, and that's literally the field that I'm in right now. I'm working community development, and it's crazy to think that, like, in that time where I had no idea what I was doing or why or like how this like world worked, God worked it out so that like I applied to another college in Tennessee. I got in 100%. Like, everyone at that school studies Bible, and I was able to actually dive deeper into my faith, into what do I actually believe, where does this faith come from, and those types of things. And then also I was able to like find the thing that I didn't even know I had a passion for, which is communities and people, and find a way that do that in a God-honoring, God-serving way. And that's literally my profession now. From that time now, as a community developer who lives in Memphis full-time, is 100% sold on Memphis. It's not just that place I've got dropped off. Like, it is crazy to know how fundamental that one thing that one guy said that one time, that I am a redeemed child of the Most High God, how that fuels like how I operate, how I move, that it doesn't really matter like what wilderness state that I am in, because God is going to redeem it. And it doesn't really matter where I'm like going. I don't have to know, really, because I believe that God is going to redeem it as a part of him being the Redeemer.